All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Muscle Discord. And we have a winner again. Samson Dauda wins the 2023 EVLS Prague Pro Show. And man, Samson is on a roll. Let's recap the year for Samson. He wins the Arnold Classic really early on in the year. Okay, he comes in and places third in the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, the Mr. Olympia. Then he rolls into Romania, wins that show, and now he comes out here with another win under his belt at the Prague show. And I would say this is Samson's best look to date. He looks tighter than he did, first off, in Romania, and he looks tighter than he did at the Olympia. We had really good lighting finally at this show, so kudos to the promoters of this show for getting the lighting great. Right, compared to these other shows, it just has not been on par. And when the lighting is right, you can see even a guy with a dark complexion like Samson. You can see the details, you can see the cuts better, and this really gives a much better viewing experience for the viewers at home. And we got to witness that. I did a live stream for prejudging, and kudos to all of you guys coming on with me early into the morning and watching these guys. Because it's quite the time difference for me here in Canada, over there in Prague. But I did it, and it was a success, and appreciate you guys. So, Crizo, a lot of people had Crizo still beating Samson in the chat when I was doing the live stream. We had a lot of Crizo fans, and they were like, "Oh, Crizo destroys Samson." I'm like, "No, he doesn't. He's got to work on his structure. He's got to bring up his legs." Now, was Crizo better than he was here than he was at the Olympia? No, I wouldn't say he was better. I would say he's fuller. I would say he was more shredded at the Olympia, but in that being more shredded, he was flatter at the Olympia. Here, he's bringing a combination of a little bit more fullness with the same, crispness and leanness he had at the Olympia, which then propels him up into that second place spot that he's got here tonight and night, which propels him ahead of Nathan Diasha, who placed fourth in this show. You know what? Crizo just needs to bring up the quads. He needs to work on his midsection because it does get washed out in some of his poses. But overall, good showing for Crizo. And now we have the new rising star, the sensation, Neckzilla Rubio Mascarera. Like I said in a previous video I made on Rubio, this guy, in my opinion, I know a lot of people had some hate on it, could be better than Ronnie Coleman in the next, 3 or 4 years. Not saying he's going to have the record of winning, 7 Mr. Olympias, but I'm saying he can be a Mr. Olympia. And I think that was proven here on this stage where he gets a third place finish, standing next to Samson and Crizo, beating out the veteran Nathan Diasha. That's not an easy task, and he did it. His first pro show. And you got Steve Weinberger judging this guy, and Steve put him in third. Steve likes this guy's physique. So awesome performance by Neckzilla. Really, really excited. I hope he jumps into the Japan Pro Show next week, and I hope Samson does. I hope Crizo does. I think Crizo is going to do it. Maybe Nathan will do it too, man. Nathan's done so many shows. He finishes off here fourth place. Probably not what he wanted, but hey, the lineups are getting deeper, and now he's paying the consequences of having, tougher competition up against him. He came in better than he did here at the Romania show last weekend. That's for sure. Again, this is better lighting, but at Romania, he was really washed out in the abs. It looks like he spilled over. Here, he's much tighter from the back. But now you're starting to see some of his weaknesses compared to these other guys that were in the top 3 with his structure, right? His lats insert very high up on his waist, on his torso, I should say. And his posing needs work. When he does the ab and thigh, he crunches his head down way too far in this one. And it's not a pretty ab and thigh of Nextzilla better than Krizo? Leave a comment below. Do you agree with these placings? Do you think Nextzilla should have been second? In my opinion, I had Nextzilla second. Watching the show live stream, I had him second. I just was gravitating towards his physique much more than I was Krizo. Krizo looked washed out and a little flat from the front. And Nextzilla was just so overpowering and overwhelming in the muscularity. When he hits his poses, everything just pops, and he's very vascular. But overall, man, Samson, this guy has had a tremendous year. And going into next year's Mr. Olympia, he is definitely going to be taking on Hadi and Derek Lunsford. I think if he's up against Hadi, I think he probably beats Hadi if he comes in even more improved and bigger in the upper back area. Glutes are even tighter than they were here. He could propel himself, and he could be the next Mr. Olympia if he could come in diced from the back. Krizo, again, his structure's a little blocky in that upper body region, the waist. The legs need to come up, I'd say, quite a bit still in order to match that upper body and his massive arms, best arms in bodybuilding right now. Yeah, that most muscular from Krizo is just ridiculous. Best most muscular, I would say, is hands down goes to Krizo. Followed up closely by Nextzilla, who came in third place here, man, his first pro show. And, really, really impressed with this guy. It's not easy to do what he's done at 28 years of age with having this much density, thickness to his muscle being compared to Victor Richards and Ronnie Coleman already. That's a feat in itself. And I hope he does the Japan Pro next weekend. Look at that side quad. It's this unbelievable, ridiculous side chest. He destroys people on that side chest pose. And he can also hit the classic poses. I mean, look at that. That's not an easy pose to hit, and he's destroying that quarter turn back pose. It's ridiculous. Nathan the Asha, the structure on Nathan is becoming more evident. That long, narrow torso and the high lat insertions. But his conditioning was good here. I wonder how Horst MD would have placed in this show in Behruz Tabani. Unfortunately, that would have made it much more of a competitive lineup if those two were in the show. They weren't. Horst MD caught a virus. It's unfortunate. And he's not doing the Japan Pro next weekend. So I don't know when we're going to see Horst back on stage. But overall, this was an awesome show. Great, performance put on by the promoters. And, I enjoyed watching this one. All right, guys. I will catch you on the next one. I love you. Peace.